What up, y'all? Jay Roos in the building, going live once again. I watched the Knockout Chaos final presser. Tomorrow we got the win. We got to see the when they were together. People were like, I told you guys Ngannou wasn't gonna make this guy look small, but y'all wasn't listening. It was interesting though, how Ngannou and Tyson Fury and his family were in the front row, and Ngannou was saying like, "You don't stand a chance if we ever fight in the cage." He's like, "Boxing rules are protecting you." Yeah, I don't, because Tyson Fury was talking about he wanted to fight Ngannou in the cage before, and that's just not a something I would recommend, um, especially not for Deontay Wilder. Roman Fury, of course, he's related to Tyson. I don't know if it's his brother or cousin. There's a lot of Furies, but he's on the card. Big John Fury is training him. Yeah, this hat says Fearless too, by the way. But AJ just had the game face on the whole time, and Ganu had a lot to say. He was real mouthy, and his trainer Dewey Cooper. I was checking out the interviews. I was live watching the public workouts yesterday, but I went back so I could hear the actual interviews. And first, let me stop. Let me let some people come in. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Jay Roos Theory Live. Come on in. Subscribe to my backup platform in WJ if you haven't. Come on in here to talk about Knockout Chaos. Here to talk about Bill Haney going at it with Adrian Broner. That was one of the funniest things I have seen in a long time. I didn't know Bill Haney was so funny. But if it's true he was a pimp, you can clearly hear that he's got that pimp mouth game on him. And Adrian, he's got a lot of mouth, but he couldn't compete with with Bill Haney. And Bill Haney's from Cali too. But back to y'all can catch you can watch this later if you're not in right now. But anyway, Francis Ngannou's trainer Dewey Cooper, he was saying that he was at watching Anthony Joshua do his public workout. AJ had the chain in there and shadow boxing and stuff. And Dewey Cooper said, he's like, look at this guy. He's up there doing aerobics and jazzercise. Like, this ain't a game. I was like, wow, really? Aerobics and jazzercise? Okay. Wow. So it looks like Francis Ngannou's team's getting real confident. I saw Francis Ngannou do a play around called a Superman punch. And I just think they're thinking this fight, they seem like they keep saying it's going to be a tough fight, but they seem to be talking like it's not going to be a tough fight. I guess they think fighting two-time heavyweight champion is going to be a walk in the park. Anthony Joshua looks definitely 250 for this fight. And Ngannou, he's probably around the same. Maybe I think he's gonna be heavier than 250, but it's not gonna look that different when you see him in the ring, just like when you saw them face to face. It was good to actually, for instance, Ngannou wearing something where you could see his physique instead of the big blousy African garb. But the weigh-in is tomorrow, and then we got the fight on Friday, and this is going to be a great fight. Zhang and Parker had a nice little stare down. Parker got right up in Zhang's face, and it didn't look like that much of a height difference. I think Zhang is what 6'6", and or I guess it's not that much of a height difference. 6'6" and 6'4" aren't that different. I tend to think of Zhang as being like Tyson Fury's height, but nah, he's a little bit shorter. And it was cool to see Parker, and I've seen interviews with Andy Lee, and Andy Lee was actually talking about how Zhang is older than him. I didn't know that. So, heavyweights can fight at a higher age than a lot of these guys in the lower divisions for some reason. Probably because they don't have to make a certain weight, and they can kind of be more free with their diet a little. But let me switch on over. I did a video about it about Bill Haney and Adrian Broner going at it. It was either on Twitter or Instagram, some social media platform, and Bill Haney was not happy about what Adrian Broner had to say about the sparring session between Tank Davis and Devin Haney. So Bill Haney was like, "Why don't you tell him what happened after that? After the footage, Adrian Broner was not happy. He felt disrespected because Bill Haney was just going at him before he even came on. He's like, let's put up $25,000 every hour and see who runs out of money." I was like, "What?" He said, "Is AB about billions or about broke?" I was like, oh man. And then when Adrian Broner came on saying, "When did I ever disrespect you?" Bill was acting like, "What? Like, I didn't what I say. Like, everything I said was fact." And Bill Haney was telling Adrian Broner his son was going to come after him. And Adrian Broner said something that Bill thought was disrespectful. He's like, "Say it again. Say it again." Maybe thinking that, remember that scene with Pinky in Friday Part 2? Where, where he kept repeating himself. Guess that's a pimp trait. But yeah, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, man. I didn't know Bill Haney was so funny. Definitely a California dude, and he's repping the Bay, and he said so much funny stuff. I'm just trying to remember. He just the way he was saying stuff so aggressively, it was just hilarious. Like he was gonna go through the screen and slap Adrian Broner. It was just that was if that would have been a press conference, man, that would have been something to see right there. But Bill Haney was not happy. He did an interview with Cameron and Mace, and he made it sound like Floyd Mayweather got knocked down by Devin Haney. He said like after the sixth round, Floyd rolled out of the ring. I was like, Devin Haney? Like, of all people, how's Devin Haney gonna knock Floyd down? Like, especially when he was just coming up. Floyd been in there with G's and he's gonna fall to Devin Haney, who's not a puncher. I don't know about that one. Even Mace was like, hmm. But who knows? Maybe it happened. Maybe he slipped when he got punched and it looked like a knockdown. I don't know. But that Bill Haney, Adrian Broner back and forth was one of the funniest things I have seen in a long, long time, man. Bill Haney was off the charts with it, man. He was showing Adrian Broner no mercy. And then I believe when Adrian started stuttering, he started mimicking. Yeah, it got pretty rough. It got pretty rough. I think AB either got off or he got him off. I think Adrian got off. I think he knew he was outmatched. I guess he's like, I'm nice with these, but my mouth game ain't as nice as I thought it was. But go check that out if you haven't. If you need a good laugh, check that out. You will be rolling. But ignore the bad language and stuff like that. It's like everybody cuss nowadays. Back to Knockout Chaos. I saw an interview headline where Tyson Fury was saying that Francis Ngannou needs to thank him, I guess, for giving him the opportunity to fight and having bigger things on the horizon. And I guess they're gonna fight again, because I saw Fury talking about he'd fight Ngannou this time with one arm behind his back, like it's gonna be easy work. Fighting in France for Fury, because he's not a knockout puncher, it's gonna be hard for him to keep Ngannou off of him. Now Fury was showing power in the Wilder fights, but he's still not a classic knockout puncher. He's a big guy and he can hurt you, but he doesn't have the power of a Lennox Lewis, a Mike Tyson, a David Tua, Anthony Joshua. He just doesn't have that kind of power. So it's going to be hard for him to keep Ngannou off of him, especially when Ngannou is building on experience. But I'll watch it. Like I said, I'm not that hyped about seeing Fury and Usyk in the ring, even though it's for undisputed. I'm not that hyped about it because, for one, like I said, it's going to be a chess match. Mainly, it's going to be a lot of moving and feinting, and I don't think it's going to be all that much action. If anybody gets knocked down, I'm sure it'll be Fury. Although Usyk can be hurt to the body, so it's possible that Usyk goes down, but I don't think it's very likely. I just, even though it's for undisputed, I don't really care too much about the belts like that. They're just run by a lot of corrupt sanctioning bodies that charge fees, and you got to fight guys ranked by their IBF, WBA, WBC, WBO. Back in the 90s, the WBO wasn't even considered a reputable belt. Over the years, it became popular. I think Vladimir Klitschko gave it some credibility, I believe, but the WBO wasn't even something that people really cared about in the 90s. It was just those three belts: WBA, IBF, and the WBC was the most credible out of those three. But now you got the WBO. So, and I even think the Saudis created their own belt, undisputed. So, um, I'm not sure. Hey, what's up, Errol? Great conference, very funny. Yeah, man. Francis Ngannou looked very confident. Had his vest on, trying to show that he's been working hard in the gym. He looks great. He looks big. Had the glasses on, and I thought it was pretty entertaining. Fury was the one to give him a chance. People talked uh, if it was gimmick fight. Now no one says it. Yeah, people thought it was a gimmick, and it wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't a gimmick at all. What am I doing? What am I doing? What? All right. There we go. But yeah, people thought it was a gimmicky fight. Even Joshua thought it was gimmicky. But when they saw that Francis could actually hang with Tyson Fury, they're like, wait a minute, is Francis better than we thought he was? Or is Fury not as good as we thought he was? Might be a little bit of both. People tend to. What's up, y'all? I had some technical difficulties there. I don't know what that was about. Yeah, I'm back. Back like a spinal column. But what was I talking about? Knockout Chaos. But oh yeah, I think I was talking about what Errol was saying about he was saying that how people thought it was a gimmicky fight, but it really, it's not a gimmick once you see the guy deserves to be in the ring, that he can hang with someone that people thought was the best heavyweight in the division. You can hang with him. It's no longer a gimmick. It's like they said in Rocky Balboa, when Rocky was fighting Mason the Lion Dixon. Remember, Rocky's son said it, nobody's laughing now. So that's kind of what happened with the Ngannou Fury fight. And technology's something else, ain't it? You just be talking and it just crashes for no apparent reason. What up, Teddy? He says, "Let's go, Francis." Yeah, he's going. He's going to the canvas. AJ looks like he's not playing around. The other day when they were interviewing Joshua about what he saw in Ngannou, and he was like, nothing. I was like, I'm not impressed. AJ had to take that. That's nah, man. I thought it was funny at the press conference when AJ had in the earbud or whatever, and then Ngannou had in the other one, and so he was asking AJ what he was listening to. So we played it. I was like, "What is that?" So I think it was garage music. I was like, "Wow, he's got some." I've seen him playing like West Coast music, but that was different. Oh yeah, that I thought the stare down was cool when AJ did the sip. Yeah, he did it in his face like, yeah. The lump in his throat. I think Francis Ngannou, he didn't look that much bigger than AJ when they was face to face. People acting like AJ gonna come in weighing like 140 or something. Like AJ's a big dude, man. And Ben Davison in his corner, I take Ben Davison over Dewey Cooper any day. Ben Davison is a strategist who studies. He loves film study, just like Tom Brady. So I think this is easy work for AJ. I mean, I'm trying to look at it from every angle. I just don't see it being a tough fight for him. I think Ngannou's slightly overconfident too. I mean, he's starting to run his mouth when before he said he wasn't much of a trash talker. It's like he is now. No need to sell the fight, Francis. We about 2 days away. You're right, but Francis' arms look like young Paul. Yeah, man. I like Francis Ngannou though, man. And I know when he retires, they're definitely gonna make what up, Mark Nash TV in the building. Shout out to Mark Nash. Go subscribe to him if you haven't. Got a great platform out there. Mark Nash TV in the building. Yeah, man. We just talking about knockout chaos and Bill Haney going at Adrian Broner, one of the most funny exchanges I've ever seen. If that had been a boxing match, Bill Haney won in the first round. I didn't know Bill Haney was that funny. I knew he had a lot of mouth. I've seen him rhyming and stuff, but I didn't know he was that funny, quick on his feet and witty. I'm gonna have to see if this dude has a YouTube platform. I'm gonna have to check that out if he does. But man, I see why Devin lets him do most of the talking, man. Bill Haney is a funny guy, man. So we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Knockout chaos. Some strange things going on in the Garcia camp. I heard some things that I'm definitely not gonna talk about on here. But you guys can check it out at your own risk. It was some crazy stuff. But Parker looking yeah, Parker does look. I think Parker's in good shape though, because he's staying in the gym now, so his face is real chiseled. But he's gonna look, next to Zhang when they actually in the ring with their shirts off. You will see a size difference. Zhang is a big dude. Yeah, Zhang is like he probably gonna come in at 275, 280, and he's not gonna outwork Parker, but he's gonna be looking to counter and throw those big heavy hands of his. And I think his speed might surprise Parker. Ooh, do you think he's coming in at 290? Oh, Teddy says 290, man. If he comes in at 290, I might have to say Parker. I think that's a bit heavy. He can hold it well, but 290, you got to carry that around for 12 rounds. I think that's a 12-round fight. 290 is a lot. But they've been training for a while, so a lot of people were saying this is actually the actual main event because it'll be real competitive. So I know I'm looking forward to it. Not so much the other fights on the card, but I'm looking forward to Zhang and Parker. I kind of want to see Roman Fury too. I haven't seen him box before. He's looking for early early dismissal. I like that. Distant dismissed, huh? Yeah, this should the other fights on the card to me, other people might like them, but I'm kind of like, to me, it's just Zhang Parker and Joshua Ngannou. That's all I'm interested in. So if I go live, I'll probably just go live for those two fights, rather than just running my mouth for about 5 hours through the undercard. The other day, I went live for the Serrano fight that got canceled, and Jake Paul fought, and that was weird. I never seen a fight canceled in the dressing room before. I was attending a fight in San Diego that got canceled though because there was no ambulance on site. Francis pulls a Andy Ruiz. Do you mean in the rematch? Where he takes a nice L without the cool J? I don't see it. Francis and God. If Francis couldn't keep Fury down, and I know Fury always gets up, but so did AJ. He got up against Ruiz, So if anybody does beat Josh, thanks, man. I try. But if anybody does beat Joshua, I'd rather be Ngannou than Wilder because Wilder would be so disrespectful. Ngannou's kind of a classy guy, so if anybody beats Joshua, I'd rather Ngannou than Wilder. I don't want to hear all that bomb squad. Oh, sit down. I'm hungry.
What do you want me to make?
What do you want to eat?
You want some of that green bean stuff?
Sure, that's a lot of work though.
Or I could do like salmon with green beans and shrimp. And then do you want some potatoes?
Yeah. Little scallop. Man, I thought we didn't have that.
Are you on live?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You want me to push? He's gonna catch him with the flurry. Oops. What happened? He's gonna. Wow. Trying to read. He's gonna catch him with the flurry and drop him. He's going to smile and get up and not have his legs under him and get knocked down again. And it will be stopped, man. That would be crazy, man. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that, man? I can hear Jim Lampley again. It happened. It happened. Jim Lampley calling Foreman versus Moore back in 1994. I'm gonna make a video about 1994. By the way, that was a great year. Nah, man. But Knockout Chaos is on. We got the weigh-ins tomorrow, and I don't mean Damon and Keenan. And Living Color. But we got the weigh-ins tomorrow. Big Bang Zang. I'm guessing they'll come in at 275 or 280. I feel he's not going to realize how powerful he is and get mixed up in the middle. But see, Ngannou hasn't felt the power of Mr. Joshua either. Fury by no means has the power of Joshua. In fact, Joshua was talking about when he was just coming up sparring Fury, and he made it sound like he was getting the better of him. Stephen S. in the building. AJ will float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. That's what's up. Yeah, I think he's gonna Mark Nash TV. What's up, man? Yeah, I think AJ's gonna really come out and make Ngannou look like he doesn't belong in the ring, and Ngannou might want to take it back to the PFL. Ngannou's just been real confident. I saw an interview he did with Seconds Out where Radio Raheem asked him about Dana White, and Francis Ngannou was like, "Man, I don't give a about Dana White." I was like, "Wow, don't know much English, but he knows how to cuss, huh?" It seemed like one of the first things people learn is how to cuss. Like, don't teach me no words in your English class. I don't learn the F words. But I believe he's gonna try and make a statement. Just a second. Try and make a statement and go for a KO and get caught up with the flurry. Yeah, you could be right. But if I agreed with you, we'd both be wrong. Yeah, AJ's gonna watch. You guys will see what I mean. AJ's gonna go out there, and you're gonna think it's a repeat of the Otto Wallin fight, because how you hear Ben Davison break down how he goes over things with AJ. He takes the film and shows him when he does things like, why'd you do that in the ring? And what happened when you did that? Did you get good results or bad results? If you got a good result, stick with it. If you got a bad result, don't do it no more. Like, dude's a genius. Might sound simple, but sometimes the simple things in life are the answer. People try to be all deep when it's not really that deep. You know, like the cliche-ish styles make fights. I would say hearts make fights. Styles make fights more mixed martial arts where you got to look out for knees, elbows, kicks, grappling. Boxing, you just got two hands, move your head and block. Not that many styles. Yes, ma'am.
Or do you want this?
What's the date on that?
It's the 29th.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. With what? Yeah, I'll take that.
I can make macaroni and cheese and then mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And
That
then I
sounds.
can make the salmon for dinner.
That
Or
sounds.
do you want salmon now?
Nah, okay. Yeah. Still gonna do the potato things.
Yeah.
Teddy says, but if he sticks to the game plan and does his jab straight and crosses, he should win by decision. But I still feel he's going to make that mistake and try and prove a point. Yeah, I just like this version of AJ. He looks angry. He's not smiling around like when he gave Andy Ruiz the belts before the fight. He's not doing none of that. Like, here you go, Andy. He's like, nah, he's like, let's do this. Even when he did his public workout, he was just kind of working out, a little bit, but he had his hands on the ropes, just looking like he said he loves to fight, and he must love to fight. People say, oh, his heart's not in it, but he had that meltdown when he lost to Usyk, which shows his heart was in it. He's like ready to fight dudes in the hallway. After that fight, he stays in shape. The fact that he stays in shape shows he wants it. I question heart when I see people that's constantly out of shape. I'm like, how bad do you want to be a champion if your only profession is staying in shape? And if you can't do that, then you probably shouldn't be in a squared circle. AJ's always a class act, but he's showing out more savagery. Yeah, man. I think his street side's coming out back when he used to sell the ganja. I think he just gets tired of people doubting him every fight. He even told one interviewer, he's like, why don't you just make a reel of all the times people have doubted me? And how did that work out most of the time? But I'm always saying that Anthony Joshua has the best resume in the heavyweight division, but I might have to rethink that because people have been talking about Joseph Parker's resume. Maybe Joseph Parker has the best resume because he's been in there with Dillian White. So has AJ. He's been in there with Joe Joyce. AJ hasn't except sparring. He's been in there with Deontay Wilder. Been in there with Andy Ruiz. So is Joshua. And that may be the reason he goes for gusto and gets caught with that flurry. I think Ngannou's problem in this fight is going to be his wide hooks, unless he's shortened. Emmanuel Stewart used to teach his fighters to throw little short shots. When you throw a short shot, it's kind of hard to counter that as easy. Ngannou, unless they've worked on it, he throws a lot of looping, wide telegraph shots. And unless they're coming with lightning speed, I do believe AJ will be ready for that. But I could be wrong, but chances are I'm not.
You're so every time I come in here, you're like asking yourself up.
I just AJ just has a look on his face like, how dare you guys doubt me? A dude that's only had one fight and lost that fight. You guys are questioning me. And I forget, though, Ngannou's fight against Fury was a split decision. So one of the judges, I guess, had it right. I thought Ngannou, what was that? I thought Ngannou won that fight personally against Fury. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of the interviews Fury is doing. He's making the rounds. He's over there to watch his relative, Roman Fury. Big John Fury should be in the corner. and that should be interesting. John Fury looks like he's training for a fight. Looks like he's in good shape. Had the flat stomach jumping off. And shout out to everybody out there watching. Shout out to new subscribers, old subscribers, future subscribers, people that ain't subscribed that watch. Those are like dining dashers. You know, they watch, but they won't subscribe. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Stephen S. I had Francis win too. He looked. Man, why did these comments disappear? He looked better in there. I had Francis win too. Yeah, man. Francis, he had the more power shots against Fury. You know, Fury might have been doing all that little tag stuff like the amateurs, where boxing is more tag than anything. But I thought Francis had more control of the ring. He had like that ring presence. Any telling shots were from Francis. He would get Fury in the corner and hit him with shots, and he got the knockdown. So I think Ngannou won that, but politics, they want Fury versus Usyk, so there's no way in the world that Ngannou was going to get a win on a decision tip. He would have to knock Fury through the ropes, and I don't even know then if they would have given it to Ngannou. Like, foul, you're not supposed to knock Fury through the ropes. You're disqualified. Get out of here. But another thing favoring Anthony Joshua is his busyness. He's been active. He fought Jermaine Franklin, Otto Wylene. Who else? Wasn't there? He fought 3 people. Oh, Hellenius. Did I already say Hellenius? Hellenius, Jermaine Franklin. No, I didn't say that. It was Hellenius. It was Jermaine Franklin first, then Hellenius, then Wylene. So he's looking better each time. Of course, he was with Derek James for those first 2 fights. Now he's with Ben Davison. I think Ben Davison, Bomac, Andy Lee, I think they're some of the best trainers in boxing right now. Antonio Tarver will make another great one. I can tell his knowledge and passion for the sport. So I'm holding the pads with Jarrell Miller. We'll see if he becomes his official trainer or not. Deontay Wilder could use Antonio Tarver. I believe he was even talking about that a while back. I did a video. He was like, hey, man, ain't nobody calling me. I don't understand. Tim Witherspoon will make a great trainer. He knows a lot. Of course, Coach James Bashir, decades of boxing knowledge. Why are these people's phones not ringing? It makes no sense. I've had bad boxing trainers. I'm not going to say any names, but I used to have trainers where it seemed like they just wanted to talk instead of, actually work on things. I said it too, Tim Witherspoon. Yeah, man, Tim Witherspoon, he knows so much, man, and he's a real soft-spoken guy, real nice, man. He's real cool. He'd make a great trainer, especially Hasim Rockman. Yeah, Hasim Rockman, what happened to, is his son still boxing? Because remember, he was supposed to fight Jake Paul, and then the fight got canceled. I thought it was funny that Asim Rockman said his favorite fighter was Lennox Lewis, because Lennox Lewis pretty much knocked Asim into the atmosphere in a rematch. But he got his sons. Yeah, man. Asim Rockman, man. Yeah, he got his 2 sons. Yeah, like Tommy Morrison had Lipe Morrison. I forget and Trey Morrison, I believe they were heavyweights. I think one of Morrison's sons stopped Hasim Rockman's son a while back, probably about a year or 2 ago. Stopped Hasim Rockman's son in a boxing match. So he said trash. But yeah, Tommy Morrison was he was a great heavyweight, one of the best left hooks ever. One of the best left hooks ever. I don't know. Sometimes it seems like the sons aren't as good as the dads. Like Joe Frazier's Marvis Frazier wasn't as good as Joe Frazier. Watch Morrison kids get KO. Yeah, they're not quite as talented as their dad, unfortunately. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of the children don't seem to be as good as the dad for some reason. Joe Frazier's son, Marvin. I think it was Marvis Frazier or Marvin Frazier. I think it was Marvis Frazier. He got stopped in a couple seconds against Mike Tyson or something like that. It was brutal too. And I'm not sure that Shane Mosley's son is as good as him, although he's pretty talented. He's not quite up to speed. Julio Cesar Chavez's son isn't, it apparently skips a generation. Said more trash. But, at least they have the heart to step in the ring. So I wouldn't say they're trash. At least they have, it takes a lot of heart to even just spar because Shane Mosley Jr. decent. Yeah, he won didn't he win the contender? Shout out to Tommy Brooks, man. I ain't talked to him in a while. Trainer Tommy Brooks, man. He was real cool. I was talking to him when he was going over there to film one of the seasons of I said The Apprentice, not The Apprentice, The Contender. I said The Apprentice. But man, Tommy Brooks is going over there. He was a coach. He was saying how beautiful it was. Tommy Brooks, he's a great trainer too, if he's still doing it. I haven't talked to him in so long. But Tommy Brooks worked with Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, and he's definitely not a yes man. I forget about Tommy Brooks, but he don't take no mess. He would tell Tyson right to his face what he needs to do, and he didn't care. Maybe because he was a former fighter too. Malik Scott is a former fighter too, but I'm not going to get on that right now. I've talked about that a lot in great detail. But y'all ready for knockout chaos? In 2 days, it goes down. I think coverage might start around maybe 2 o'clock Eastern time or 1 o'clock Eastern time. I think they're 5 hours ahead in Saudi Arabia. So I'm just interested in seeing what everybody's weight is going to be tomorrow. I just like seeing the weigh-ins are often an event. Oh, did you guys see what's the name, Ariel, whatever from the MMA Hour? He was out there going at it with the black guy from the UK. He just be having a lot to say. I like the guy, but he was like dissing boxing, talking about how they cover their press conferences and how boxing needs to grow. And he was like, they don't need to interview everybody at the table. Just talk to the main guy. Like, dude, don't come over to our sport telling us how to run things. Dana White sitting over there, almost a billionaire, and his fighters are sitting up there probably driving Hondas, and you're going to tell us how to run our sport. At least our fighters get paid. Like how much Ngannou made from his one fight with Fury as opposed to all the fights he's had over at the UFC. So, I mean, I like Ariel and all that, but he just keeps acting like the MMA is being so disrespected and no one gave Francis Ngannou a chance and all that. Hey, man, just hold that same energy after you see what AJ does to him. Yeah, I just think it's going to be easy. And I think the only other person that I'm really hearing with credibility saying that it's going to be easy is Tony Bellew. And I know he's friends with AJ, but he still speaks his mind. And he thinks it's going to be easy too. And I just I don't see, because Ngannou's been working on traditional boxing, he's not going to be as green. So he's going to be doing more textbook boxing, I'm sure. And AJ's seen all that. What can Ngannou do that Joshua hasn't seen if it comes to conventional boxing? His best bet is to throw some wild, some wild, crazy shots out of nowhere. Just not too wild where you leave yourself open. But they definitely are big man. That's the spectacle. I wish we could even get if the fight isn't a blowout, I hope we can get several fights out of this. We can just, if Fury Wilder can have 3 fights, why can't we get Joshua Ngannou 3 fights? But I know the winner of this is supposed to fight Fury Usyk, even though there is a rematch clause with Fury Usyk. So the winner of this is probably going to have a fight in the interim waiting for the winner of that rematch. Like, why do we always have to have a rematch clause for every fight? It's okay if it's something the public demands, but we don't need every fight with a rematch clause. It should just be the winner of Fury Usyk fights the winner of Joshua Ngannou, so that we don't drag this thing on to 2025, man. And let's have another great year of boxing like we had in 2023. That was one of the best years in the sport in all divisions, heavyweights, welterweights. I mean, it was going down, lightweights. So yeah, that's my take on things. You know what I mean? And the homie Viking Samurai, go subscribe to him if you haven't. He's got a fight. I asked him where, and he said he's still not sure. He's trying to find out how you can see it because I might live stream that one Saturday. My dude Viking Samurai is having his first professional fight with celebrity boxing in Atlantic City, so I support him in that. Thunder's Productions in the building. Whoever wins Undisputed is going to vacate after they win anyway. Hey, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Dragon Leg in the building. Thanks to Thunder's Productions and Dragon Legs. I appreciate you watching. Yeah, man. Yeah, they probably will vacate because it's just hard to have all those belts and meet all your mandatories too. It's like I'm gotta fight Joe Blow. I want to fight this guy because they always want you to fight a guy that nobody wants to see, and then the public wants to see, one of the celebrities of the sport, so to speak. But yeah, like I was saying, shout out to my dude Viking Samurai. Real cool guy, man. We've talked for hours, man, and real cool guy. I think he's gonna go in there and do the job. It's a boxing match. He's a martial artist, but it's a boxing match. So shout out. He's working with Don the Dragon Wilson right now. I know you guys know who that is. And I think he's gonna do it. He's got the heart. So don't you just love boxing? Yeah, there's no sport like boxing. There's no sport like boxing. Just disconnected and reconnected again. Come on, YouTube, get your act together. But I like the NFL and all that, but some of it is WWE on grass along with the NBA. Boxing too, but what would you rather see? See, with football, you're going to be there for about 3 hours. With boxing, especially heavyweight boxing, it can end at any minute. And that's what keeps you on the edge of your seat, knowing that it can end in any minute. Remember the Mike Tyson days where you couldn't blink or go to the bathroom or you missed a fight? I think that happened to this guy I knew that was watching the Galata Lennox Lewis fight. I think he went down to the kitchen or something, came back, the fight was over. And people thought Galata was going to be one of Lewis's toughest tests, and it was the exact opposite. Kind of like this fight with Ngannou Joshua. They think Ngannou will probably be Anthony Joshua's toughest fight. And I'm saying it's not going to be. I think it's going to be a cakewalk. I think it's going to be easy. I just, that's the way I see it. If I'm wrong, I will eat my humble pie and say I was wrong. Got no problem being wrong. I just don't. Plus the attitude of Ngannou, just he's just like, he seems like he's just really feeling himself. Like, I think one of his old trainers was talking about that a long time ago, about how he's kind of, I don't know. Stephen S. No one takes out Francis easy. Can't wait to see. Yeah, but see, that was in mixed martial arts. Boxing is a whole different game. See, in mixed martial arts, the blows are spread out throughout the entire body, the knees, the shins, everywhere else. Boxing is just head, body, head, body. Oops, what did I do? I'm trying to read this comment. Thunders Production says every video I see on YouTube is Francis will win. It's crazy disrespecting the two-time champ. Yeah, and you're right. I see more and more platforms talking about Francis will win, man. It's like, are you guys really thinking this through? You guys acting like AJ's some club fighter that just had one fight himself. Like, this is Anthony Joshua. Go look at his previous fights, man. It's like they're basing AJ's whole career off that Ruiz fight and off the two Usyk fights. It's like, come on, man. But I want to see how all these channels. I want to hear what they have to say when AJ makes quick work, and then be like, oh well, maybe if Ngannou had more fights in it, yeah, but that's not what you were saying before the fight. So don't pull the proverbial switch up after the fight. Nah, man. But everybody's just talking like Frank. I think it's because they're afraid of Francis Ngannou, so they're projecting that fear on the Joshua. Joshua's not some 110-pound weakling on the street getting his lunch money taken. He's not feeling the same fear you guys are feeling. You guys might look at Ngannou and be like, "Oh shoot." Joshua's like, "Hey, dude, it's just another day at the office." Or I will show that I'm the two-time heavyweight champion going for three-time heavyweight champion. I like Francis Ngannou. I just don't see him doing it. I just really don't. And Dewey Cooper can talk all the trash he wants about AJ, look like he was doing jazzercise in the ring and aerobics, but it's not going to look like jazzercise or aerobics on Friday night. It's going to look like a beatdown. I think he can fight the same way he did Wallin. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I've seen Francis Ngannou said he said Joshua didn't get much resistance from Wallin. It's like hitting a heavy bag, which is true. Wallin seemed a bit intimidated, so Joshua just went in and finished his business. Now, did Wallin just get intimidated, or did he feel something that made him stop fighting? See, there's a difference. Now, see, if Joshua goes in there and hits Ngannou in the sternum or somewhere, and he starts to feel his oxygen leave his body, he's not going to want to mix it up too much because he's thinking about, oh, I got to go 10 rounds. In fact, Ngannou said at the press conference today, like, who wouldn't be tired? I was like, see, you're saying too much. Ben Davison and Joshua just heard you say that. Who wouldn't be tired going 10 rounds? Like, a lot of people wouldn't be tired going 10 rounds. Did Joseph Parker look tired going 10 rounds? Joshua's been 12 rounds several times against Joseph Parker. He's been 12 rounds against Jermaine Franklin. He's been 12 rounds twice with Usyk, even though he lost by decision, still went 12 rounds. So by you saying that, you're saying too much. You got to know what to say and what not to say. A funny thing about Dewey Cooper, he's got that WWE voice. He talks like, I think he's really trying to just pump Ngannou's head up and make him feel like he belongs in there with the two-time champion. But they're going to quickly realize that fantasy's fantasy and reality's reality. Ngannou's what Lennox Lewis called a hurry come up. They come up in a hurry and go in a hurry. And when Lennox Lewis said it, he was referring to the upcoming threat, Michael Grant, the heir apparent to the throne, knocked out in 3 rounds. Yeah. So, all you Francis Ngannou platforms, I just want you to keep that same energy. Once your dude gets knocked out, come on and explain what happened. No excuses. I don't want to hear Francis Ngannou had a hangnail. He had a bad cough. I don't want to hear that. I expect AJ to be like against Ruiz. Oops, what I do? Ruiz too, but that guy could. What I do? What I do? I did something to your comment by accident, man. You can rewrite that. Sorry about that. I was trying to make it stay on the screen so it wouldn't disappear. I think you were saying though you expect John and fight like he did in Ruiz rematch. And I think if he does, it'll be to a point. I think that fight, he was more interested in just getting his belts back in the win, so he didn't care how he did it. I think he wants to make a statement this time that that he's the power guy in the division, and I think he wants to. I think he wants to make Fury look bad. What did I do? I can't see any comments now. As you guys can see, I don't go live much. I'm sitting up here hitting stuff I have no business hitting. Comments disappearing. I'm gonna have to go live more often to get the hang of things, you know. But what's going on with y'all? What did y'all think of the Tank Davis sparring footage with Haney? I heard after that Haney was getting the better of him, but I didn't see that part. What I saw, Haney was getting that. Credit to Haney though, he didn't go down, but it looked like Davis was just knocking him all around the ring and doing pretty much what he wanted to do. You know, it's like they were saying Timothy Bradley, and then they're saying, you know, I think it was Timothy Bradley, how back in the days you weren't supposed to show what or talk about what happened in the gym because people are working on certain things, so they might get hit more because they're working on jabs or blocking something. They said some trainers wouldn't even allow cameras in the locker room. I saw some of it. I wonder why they won't fight now. Thunder's Productions. Yeah, I know. They just need to mix it up, you know. I think the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight started making fights happen, though. I think that's why we ended up getting Crawford, Spence, and all that. And yeah. Speaking of Crawford, I wonder who his fight's going to be against next. Whoever it is, I got Crawford. I can say Crawford is fighting the Bigfoot. I'm going to pick Crawford. Terrence Crawford just got that. Certain dudes, you just like, yeah, like he's a real one. Terrence Crawford is no joke. But I wish they could have worked him into Knockout Chaos somehow. That would have been excellent. Can you imagine Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford too on the Knockout Chaos card? When's Tim Tszyu versus Thurman? That's a good. I think that's in don't quote me on this, but I believe it's in April. I think they got into it recently on social media. I think Keith One Time Thurman came in and jumped into Zoo's interview, but Keith Thurman is an interesting guy. You know, he has like, excuse me, he has like one fight every 3 years, and I'm guessing that's why they call him One Time Thurman. Why do they call him One Time Thurman? I picked Pacquiao to beat Keith Thurman too, and people were like, "Oh, you're crazy." Yeah, right. What happened? Keith Thurman doesn't like it to the body, a lot like Usyk. So you know Tyson Fury is going to be going to Usyk's body. I saw Usyk taking punches or taking a medicine ball to the midsection, preparing for those blows that you know Fury's coming with. And I think the fight may actually happen because I saw Fury on an interview and he said, I'm not paying 10 million, meaning I'm not pulling out of this fight. So looks like it's on. Ariel looked at Fury's face. He's like, I can hardly see the cut. So looks like the cut's healing well. He was called one time. I just one punch to knock you out. Oh, okay. One punch to knock you out. Is he really he doesn't really punch like that though, does he? I know it's just a nickname, but Keith Thurman's not really a knockout artist, is he? I mean, he's a strong guy, but I don't know. I just never could get into Keith Thurman, and then he's comparing himself to Ali recently. I was like, wow. When Ali took a layoff, that was because of the government. That wasn't because he just didn't want to fight. Stop it, Keith. Told you I'd rather see Keith Sweat fight than Keith Thurman. Why me, baby? Man, it's overcast again, y'all. Overcast again. I think I like having a fight on a Friday rather than a Saturday. I wonder if the Saudis are going to put more fights on Fridays. Um, Gives you time to just, do something with the family on Saturday and stuff instead of having your whole day tied up. He was a KO artist on his way up, but it's hard to KO A-level fighters. Very true. When Keith was calling out Floyd, that's when he was knocking. Oh, okay, I got you guys. Okay, so Keith was at one point putting people out of there thanks to y'all because I was like, I'm gonna have to go back and watch his fights. I was like, I didn't know Keith Thurman had hands like that, but back when he had the long hair. Um, Keith Thurman's definitely not a shy guy though. He's who do you guys like in this fight with Zoo? I got Zoo, but some people were saying Thurman. I just think inactivity hurts fighters, as you saw with Wilder versus Parker. So I think you have to stay active. It's like lifting weights. Say you lifted a whole lot of weight or did a whole lot of reps, and then you took a year off from the gym. It's going to be real hard for you to come right back and lift that same amount of weight. It's going to feel real heavy and crazy. So consistency and activity are definitely paramount to being a world-class fighter. Do you guys think Floyd Mayweather ducked Keith Thurman? I know a lot of people say Floyd was fighting guys once they were past their prime. A lot of people think De La Hoya actually beat Floyd too. You know? I got Zoo. He stays active. Yeah, I got Zoo too, man. Thunder's Productions. Yeah, I got Zoo too. His dad, Costi Zoo, was such a great fighter, man. And I was just saying that seems like the sons aren't as good as the dad. I'm not saying in this case, but it looks like the son is pretty good in this case. And I think he wants to make a statement and then, I guess dispose of Thurman and have him take 3 more years out. Dragon Lake says yes, because he was trying to throw Errol Spence on Keith Thurman. Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, you see, I watched the lower divisions, but I don't know as much about it as you guys because I'm mainly into the heavyweights. But except for Crawford, to me, Crawford's a heavyweight, just the way he's so strong. But yeah, thanks for dropping that knowledge on me. Y'all remember, speaking of fighters in other weight classes, y'all remember Prince Nassim Hamed? Man, that dude was so entertaining. His fight with Kevin Kelly. That was one of the funniest things I ever saw where Kevin Kelly was on the ring. Yeah, like, come on, because dude was back there dancing for about 15 minutes. Kevin Kelly's trying to keep up a sweat, and this dude's back there dancing. If Conor Ben was a true middleweight, his fight versus Eubank Jr. would be more interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to see that fight, man. I was really big on Conor Ben, but seemed like since he's come back and he's not on the PEDs or anything allegedly. It seems like he's kind of struggling a bit. And I think now he's calling out Tank Davis, and I'm like, I don't. Before I would have picked him to maybe to do good against Tank Davis, but now I don't really know about that. Tank Davis he's a brutal puncher and he knows how to box. A lot of Tank Davis can't box, but I've seen him do some pretty impressive. Let me see this comment. They say Wilder got a new opponent. He's fighting soon. Who do you think it'll be? Oh, do they? Thanks for dropping that. Breaking news, y'all. Wilder has a new. I'm hoping it's Andy Ruiz because they've been talking about that for a while. I'm hoping it's that because Andy Ruiz needs to get back in the ring. Ruiz hasn't fought since Ortiz, so yeah, I'm hoping that. But if not, who would I like to see Wilder fight? It has to be somebody. Maybe Ruiz is a bit much right now. I don't know. I know he's been inactive. Wilder fought recently, but wasn't letting his hands go. Maybe Wilder should fight someone to get his his love for the sport back. Someone that not too bad, not too weak of an opponent, someone that's gonna have some resistance, but someone that he can look good against. So if not Ruiz, let's see. Definitely not. What's his name? Kanowski. He got knocked out again the other day. He needs to. Yeah, he probably got a migraine because he really got knocked out. But I'm trying to think who could Wilder fight. Definitely not a rematch with Dominic Brazil. Definitely not that. I kind of want to see Wilder fight Wallin. I think Wilder. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, someone else was talking about that. Yeah, both of them, since they lost and were on Knockout Chaos, that would be good. Otto ain't got no power. Yeah, Otto would have to try to strategize and box because, yeah, and I don't know how well his punch resistance is now that I think Joshua might have broken his orbital bone or eye socket or something. So. Yeah, that's actually a good choice for Wilder though. I'd watch it, but I think Wallin's got to heal up. I don't think he's recovered yet, physically or psychologically, because he did a lot of trash talk, questioning AJ's mental fortitude, and then he went in the ring looking scared himself. So it's like Andy Lee said. Andy Lee said, "Man, I had a lot of fights, and I never trash talk my opponents. I never talk bad about them." See, that's kind of intelligent too, because you don't want to plan to lose, but just in case you do lose, you don't look, crazy because you talked a lot of trash, like Jarrell Miller against Daniel Dubois. He did all that talking and then got spanked by Daddy. White versus Miller, oh man, that press conference, let me tell you something. If Jarrell Big Baby Miller fights Dillian White, that press conference should be on pay-per-view. That's how hype that press conference will be. It'll be scorecards judging who did the best trash talk. Jarrell Miller, that was a 10-8 round for Jarrell Miller. Dillian White, yeah, that's a 10-8 round for Dillian. But yeah, that's and I hear Dillian was cleared. I thought maybe a lot of people thought he disappeared because he was on suspension, but come to find out, I believe it was some contamination was found in his sample. So I guess he was cleared. So if I was Dillian White, I'd be doing lawsuits right now because I'd be like, y'all done cost me money with some contamination. But then again, I'm kind of wondering, how does contamination keep coming up? If Dillian wasn't on anything, why does he keep testing like positive for stuff? That's what I don't understand. You don't see AJ popping dirty. You don't see the Klitschko's popping dirty. The funny thing about Miller is he actually not a bad fighter when he's in proper fight shape. I still think he would beat Dubois if he hadn't let himself go that much. He was hurting Daniel early. Yeah. Yeah, he's just got to drop some of that weight. I interviewed Coach James Bashir, as you guys know, and Coach James says when Jarrell Miller came back to the corner, he was working in that corner too. He wasn't the main trainer, but he was working the corner. And he said when Jarrell Miller came back to the corner after the 5th round, he said he was completely gassed, like he was tired. So everything from the 5th round up, he was fighting on fumes basically. So that shows heart, you know. It showed a lot of heart. He's just got to get his life together outside the ring, you know. It's like he's all mixed up outside the ring. He don't know what he wants to do. So he needs to get that sorted out first. But yeah, Jarrell Miller would be and Dubois and I said Dubois, Jarrell Miller and Dillian White would be a great fight. You notice AJ always calls Dillian Dylan. I think Dillian White's name used to be Dylan. But maybe Dillian White needed this little break to get his legs back. I've said it over and over and over and over that Dillian White's legs seem to have betrayed him. We'll see if he's negotiated with those legs to get him back. um, Dillian White is great for the sport because he knows how to talk, and he's got to learn how to defend the uppercut. Can you imagine AJ if they had fought in that second fight? I'm sure it would have ended with an uppercut. If Dillian fought Francis Ngannou, can you imagine Ngannou hitting Dillian with that uppercut that he hit Overeem with? Ooh. Um, Another thing, people keep talking about the heart of Francis Ngannou, you know. Yeah, we can't deny the man's got heart. I mean, anybody that's been through the sand mines of Cameroon and you know all the stuff he went through has heart, but that doesn't mean that he can't be intimidated. You remember his fight with Derek Lewis? He lost that fight, didn't he? And it's like neither man wanted to throw any punches. Now maybe Derek Lewis was slightly intimidated, even though he pushed Ngannou at the press conference. That could have been out of fear. But it seemed kind of like Ngannou was a little bit hesitant to let his hands go that fight. Now I don't know if he had any leg problems going into that or just what, but you know, you're right. And Derek was an amateur boxer before MMA. Was he? I didn't know that. Derek, oh, he was an amateur boxer? I did not know that. Wow. So thank you. Maybe he hit Ngannou with a couple shots where Ngannou was like, I'm gonna have to fill him out a little more. So if Derek Lewis, I'm not saying Ngannou hasn't improved since then. I'm sure he has, but if Derek Lewis was making Ngannou feel something, you think AJ ain't gonna do it? I do think AJ punches harder than Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is a strong dude, but he ain't no AJ by any stretch. Matter of fact, if Derek Lewis was scheduled to fight AJ, how many people would pick Derek Lewis to beat AJ? Not many. Not many credible channels anyway. But there's a lot going on in the pugilism planet. Shout out to my pugilism planet from here to the UK, Nigeria, Brazil, everybody that watches, appreciate you. I guess I might go live later, but I'm gonna get me something. I haven't eaten so far, so I'm kind of famished. What do I think of Ryan Garcia? Yeah, man. Yeah. That's a deep one because he was saying some things that you know he's yeah. You got to be careful what you say on YouTube regarding that because it's a lot of censorship. But I'll just say it like this: there's a lot of truth to what he was saying. But I just don't think he's handling things right. So I'm praying for Ryan. You know, it seems like he's been through a lot. Paulie Malignaggi was showing him no respect on Pro Box TV. He felt no sympathy. Timothy Bradley was even kind of showing him sympathy, but Paulie Malignaggi was just going ham. Are we out of butter?
Hmm?
Are we out of butter?
Mm-mm.
Oh, butter.
I did put butter on it.
Oh, you did?
Oh, on the toast?
Yeah.
Oh, I put some honey on it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What? You didn't even try it.
Oh, it's the baby. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Are you on live?
Yeah.
Can they hear you?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Was I about to get told off?
No.
It's good. Is this chicken parm? What is this?
It's artichoke stuffed chicken, and I made mac and cheese, and then it's I put shrimp in the mashed potatoes.
Artichoke stuffed chicken, y'all. Let me try it out. Sorry to eat in front of y'all.
And then I put the sauce,
That's
and
good.
then I made my own roux with it.
You made your what?
RUE. It's like when you put butter and then like a little bit of flour and mayonnaise, and then I put like a little bit minced up onions.
That's really good. It's kind of sweet a little bit.
Yeah, because then I drizzled honey on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Thank you, chef.
Thank you, chef.
Oh no, that's what, because you're Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, it's Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Robert Irvine would like this food. Y'all remember Restaurant Impossible?
Aw, thank you.
He would say, "Eat at," and that. Shout out to all my UK fans in it.
I'm so tired.
I think Joshua should hit him in the body. They say the body. But I wonder if it's gonna be a pro. It sounded like from the press conference. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna have more supporters in the crowd. You know, we already know Ngannou's got Cameroon on lock, and anyone in Nigeria is gonna be supporting. Although you know AJ has Nigerian blood in him too. You know. But sometimes people want the pure, raw, and uncut. Like I said, though, you know, I think Ngannou could still, you know, even when he loses this next fight Friday, I think he still will have a good boxing career. He probably beat everybody else in the division, but the three people that I see giving Ngannou problems would be Usyk and Zhang, people like that, because Zhang's a lefty and he's strong too, and he weighs about the same thing. And of course, Fury, if his mind is right. But thanks for watching, y'all. I guess I'm gonna get off of here and stuff my face. I'll probably do some more videos later, or maybe even go live later if I hear some breaking news. But thanks for watching. Make sure to comment and I said comment. This is a live video, but you can still comment on the replay. Share. LSR forever. Be fearless. Yay to the yay.